Hi everyone, and thank you so much for watching. After a short break, I'm right back at it and filming makeup tutorials in random places. Today, if you haven't noticed by the cup I was flashing at the beginning, and right now, I'm doing my makeup in Starbucks. There's one in my local mall which I hang out in way too often because free Wi-Fi and hot chocolate is about as good as it gets. So I decided after doing some of my classwork on my laptop, I'm gonna take a break, I'm gonna set up my camera in front of a window, and I'm gonna do my makeup. I decided to go all out, so I started by slathering foundation all over onto my face, and I'm using a dual fiber brush to blend it out, and then I'm gonna smooth it out with my beauty blender. Now here, as you can see, every now and then the screen just goes white because the white balance on the camera I'm using is different than the one I'm used to using, and every time I look away it just goes white again, so sorry for the few moments that are like that. But anyways, I'm sitting in front of a beautiful window which has its perks because I actually have lighting and you can kind of see what I'm doing, but I also have a nice view of everyone walking in front of me. The downside to me having a beautiful view of kind of like this hallway outside in the mall is I can see everyone there and everyone there can see me. On top of the people walking past, there's restaurants on the other side with people sitting in chairs there that can see what I'm doing, and there's chairs of Starbucks right outside, which halfway through this group of girls came to sit at this table right outside the window I was at, and they had like no shame watching what I was doing. So like I smiled at them once or twice and then kind of pretend they weren't watching me because they were like full on enjoying it, which is good. I mean, it's a good sign that people like watching me do my makeup, but little awkward. Not entirely used to people staring at me yet, but in another way it was kind of fun because afterwards they asked me what I was doing it for and they asked about my channel, all that jazz. So, you know, it had some good sides. Anyways, onto my makeup. I initially forgot to blend down my neck, so I went back in with more foundation and just dragged it down my neck. Then I put on some concealer, I set everything, or I'm gonna set everything after this. And right now I'm doing my brows. I was looking in my screen of my camera at what I was doing, so it's a little terrible, and then I realized, I should probably look at what I was doing, so I picked up my mirror, entirely threw off the white balance, and continued with my eyebrows. Now here's what I want to show you. The second I look away, it just goes bright. It's like the camera knows when I'm looking at it, then it calms down and behaves, and then when I look away, it just goes back to doing its shenanigans. Anyways, I am setting my eyelids with a nude color so that everything is nice and smooth, and I have an even surface to begin with, while singing along to the music playing in the background. I love the music they play in Starbucks because I like 1940s, 1920s type of music. I love like Frank Sinatra and I love Paul Anka and stuff like that. And surprisingly, that's the type of music they play. So I love listening to it. It's so calm to work with, even though it's like kind of noisy in the Starbucks because obviously there's a lot of people moving around. So I get to enjoy the music in the background and I get to sing along from time to time without anyone hearing me singing. Now that guy walking out in the background, he looks a lot like one of my friends, Gerard. And I sent him a picture of the guy earlier saying I think I saw a future version of you because oh my gosh, they look so similar. So that was quite entertaining. But I thought, Gerard has an older brother, so maybe it's the older brother. So heavens forbid, this guy is actually my friend's older brother, noticed me taking a picture of him to send to him, goes home this afternoon and says, yo, this weird chick doing her makeup in Starbucks took a picture of me. And then Gerard would be like, I know exactly who you're talking of. I'm glad that was not the case, it's not his brother, but that would have been quite embarrassing. Anywho, onto my eyeshadow. I'm sure I've done a look like this before where you start with light in the middle, work out to dark on the outside. So if you really want some detailed makeup tips, I'll list one of those videos in the description. What I'm doing here is I applied a bright pink highlighter in the inner corners on the inner thirds of my eyelids, and then all over the middle I applied this dual shift color from my Carly Bible palette, which pretty much inspired this whole look. It's this rose warm color pink, but it has a bit of a bronzy tone to it, a bit of a like tan color, which I really love, this shift color of it. So I applied that in the middle, and on the outer parts I just took deeper reddish pinkish colors and made it nice and dark. I then picked up a dark brown and blended that into my crease because I wanted this to be a bit more dramatic and a bit darker. As you'll see a little bit later, I'm going to pick up more of those pink colors and actually mix in some black to darken up the outer corner as well. I never really use black eyeshadow because I always have this idea that I want black eyeshadow to be like either pitch black and or nothing at all. Like if it can't go that dark to make a proper black smoky eye, I'm kind of like and then I don't use it. And that's why I've been avoiding it, but then I realized, you can use black to darken up other colors even if it comes off a bit grayish if you use it alone. So why not, And thus I'm using black again. I remember having this shortcut for like a black smoky eye where you just like smudge out your eyeliner, like your pencil eyeliner, you put in your upper lash line and smudge it. Haven't done that in ages, maybe I should try it again because it's actually quite cool. Anyways, I wanted a bit more definition, so I picked up a thin brush and that dark brown color and I drew a line in my crease and then I went back in and blended it out with the help of a lighter brown color. Next up, I did some highlighting. I put it in all the usual spaces, so my tear ducts, underneath my brows, on my nose, and on my lip. Also, those of you who noticed, I did cream contour earlier. I don't do it much, but hey, if you're going full glam, I don't see why not. Now onto my eyeliner. My camera knew I was messing up and thus it was whiting out most of the process. But my eyeliner was honestly a disaster today, and of course it's not going to work out on the day I don't have a wet wipe to fix it. Like if I'm at home, I can just wipe it off and start again. But in the mall, I just had to make a plan, so it's a smudgy mess. And that eyeliner I just used to line my waterline, I decided, this marker I'm using is the Wet n Wild one, and I don't like it. I really don't like the marker type of eyeliners because the tip starts drying out. And that's exactly what happened. So I kind of drew my wing, and then where it was kind of dried out and not really making the color properly, I decided to take the black pencil and color it in so that the color was proper, and then after that go in with concealer to kind of cut out my wing and make it look better. But the creaminess of the pencil and the creaminess of the concealer went together quite fantastically and just smudged this grey line all along where the concealer was supposed to be. So as you can imagine, that was a disaster to fix. I feel like from here it doesn't look that bad, especially because it's like smoky in that outer area in anyways. But if you were to look closely, which I'm going to show you later, you can see it's a smudgy mess. It's not entirely covered. So eyeliner was not my friend today. Onto my lips. I wanted the color to have a bit of an ombre effect, so I'm picking up an eyeshadow color that's kind of a similar color and placing it with a bit of brown on the outer parts of my lips, and in the middle, once again, the beautiful shimmery rose color of my Carly Bible palette that inspired this whole look. Then I had to take a few last sips of my Starbucks drink, and then I'm onto my hair. It is about time that I wash my hair, so I can't just wear it down, so I decided, why not braid it? But if I'm gonna do the effort of braiding it, I might just as well do a cute hair braid. So while I'm waiting for the light to fix itself so you can actually see what I'm doing, I'm starting with a French braid going down the side of my face instead of the back of my head. It's pretty much the same amount of effort. It's actually less uncomfortable because you don't have to reach behind you and frames your face a little bit. And then I went back and puffed it up like the smallest bit. That was like minimum effort. And then that is pretty much it. I took off my sweater. The sweater is really not cute with the dress I was wearing. Like the dress on its own is fine and the sweater with like sweats is fine. But the sweater and this dress, not so much. But again, I was chilling in Starbucks to do my homework before we go back to class on a Saturday. So, didn't really care about how it looked. And then, as you know, I can't do anything without my sunglasses. So right after my hair is done, they went right back on. And it's stuck into my braid this time, so it's not going to fall off like it did when I was trying to blend under my neck. Anyways, this is what I was seeing in front of me, and as you can see, there were a lot of people watching me, including the siren of Starbucks. I'm walking back from doing my makeup in Starbucks right now, and can I just say, my wings might look good from far. I'm hoping they look good from far. They're definitely far from good. It's all smudgy. Get a nice close-up of what's going on.